I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody...
Hello everyone. Welcome to V Daily News. Imagine a large ship that's starting to rock, buffeted by a steady stream of stormy waves. That ship is HYBE, a giant South Korean entertainment agency that has always seemed unwavering. But now, cracks are beginning to appear. Internal issues are surfacing, public opinion is divided, and trust is fading. Yet amidst this chaos, one name shines calmly and resplendently: Taehyung. In recent weeks, netizens and the media have been rocked by reports alleging internal strife within HYBE. From controversial managerial decisions to leaked complaints from trainees and artists, HYBE suddenly no longer seems like a flawless agency. Keywords like HYBE exposed have begun to trend worldwide. But strangely, amidst this suffocating atmosphere of doubt, Taehyung, or V of BTS, appears more elegant than ever. He doesn't speak out. He doesn't respond to the accusations. But his absence from the chaos served as the most powerful statement, that he stood on a different stage, untouched by the drama. As the public demanded transparency from HYBE, many wondered, where were their top artists? How would these global icons respond to this situation? But Taehyung demonstrated, through his gestures and work, that he chose to respond with quality and a meaningful presence, not empty arguments or clarifications. A few days ago, the media was shocked by the release of digital content featuring Taehyung in a prestigious editorial. While the news about HYBE was heating up, he appeared in a black outfit and a quiet yet poignant artistic concept. It was as if he were speaking a language that no PR strategy could fake. An industry source stated that Taehyung's presence amidst this crisis was a reminder that the essence of an artist lies not in the system that governs them, but in the consistency of their soul. At a time when the company's image was beginning to be questioned, Taehyung's image became a beacon of solace for a confused public. Not only fans, but the wider public began to notice this contrast. While his agency was faltering, Taehyung displayed remarkable stability. This raised an interesting question: was he silent because he didn't know, or because he knew too much and chose to remain graceful? Industry analysts began to call this phenomenon the Taehyung paradox, a situation where an artist continues to rise independently, even when the system behind them is rocked by a crisis of confidence. He didn't speak about HYBE, but his entire body of work seemed to speak loudly: I won't go down with the sinking ship. On Twitter, phrases like V above HYBE or Taehyung saves the brand began to emerge. Some fans even stated that they only remained supporters of HYBE content because V was still a part of it. This was clear evidence that his magnetism was stronger than the institution that housed him. And as if to reinforce this narrative, recent airport photos featuring Taehyung went viral. He looked simple: a t-shirt, jeans, and a loose jacket. But his gait, his calm demeanor, and his artistic aura made him seem like the protagonist of a film noir, bucking the system. The public began to embrace him as a symbol of hope. Amidst the growing disillusionment with an entertainment system that increasingly seemed like a heartless capitalist machine, V emerged as an artist who still held onto his principles and aesthetics. He wasn't just surviving, he was building an artistic fortress that couldn't be toppled by internal drama. Some international media outlets even began comparing Taehyung to global icons who were able to separate their personal image from corporate controversies. Like Beyoncé during her troubled label, or Harry Styles, who continued to work calmly amidst industry turmoil. Taehyung is now in a similar position. However, this isn't about comparison. It's about how he's demonstrated maturity in building an artistic identity independent of the system. He reminds us that true power isn't noise, but a stable presence. And that's far more compelling than lengthy clarifications or online debates. Even fans who were previously apathetic about the agency issue are starting to flock to him, eager to see how V will handle this. They're waiting, not for a statement, but for the work. Because they know, every project Taehyung releases always contains a broader message than what is seen on the surface. His recent visuals, from a photo shoot with Celine to an editorial with Kim Hee-jun, are a beautiful irony. While HYBE is under fire, V displays a nearly untouchable aesthetic. He doesn't just weather the storm, he seems to dance atop its waves with grace and certainty. In an old interview, Taehyung once said, "I don't like to explain. I prefer people to see and feel it for themselves." And today, that line feels like the unofficial script for his entire response to this crisis. He doesn't explain it. But we all know exactly what he's saying. Intriguingly, content creators and critics alike are now using V as a case study in how an artist can maintain their personal values amidst a compromising industry. He's like the lone note remaining harmonious in a symphony that's starting to fall apart. Longtime BTS fans know that Taehyung has always been a different artist. He's unpredictable, not easily conquered. But now, the wider public is starting to see him as a balancing act, perhaps even a savior, in HYBE's fraying image. And as time passes, the differences between Taehyung the artist and HYBE the company become increasingly stark. One builds strength through silence, the other makes a loud but hollow noise. And netizens know exactly which one to follow. Naturally, this has led to speculation. Will V stay under HYBE after his contract expires? Or is he preparing a more authentic, independent path? These questions have filled forum discussions, YouTube channels, and virtual chat rooms around the world. But one thing is clear, if he chooses to go it alone, millions will follow. Not because of drama, but because of trust. And that's something even HYBE, with all its corporate might, can't buy or control. Eventually, HYBE's crisis may be over. But the damaged trust will take a long time to restore. On the other hand, public trust in Taehyung is flourishing amidst the cracks. He is proof that character is stronger than contracts. And here we are, standing witness to a man who remains composed, elegant, and mysterious, while the buildings around him begin to crumble. He didn't save the system. But he saved the hope of what honest art and authentic existence mean. Now, we must ask ourselves, when the storm comes, who will remain standing? And who will rely solely on the system to appear solid? Taehyung has answered that question, without words, without anger. Only with steadfastness and unwavering work. What do you think, army and art lovers? Is this the time for V to step out more freely? Do you feel the same vibe, that he is writing a new story outside the company's shadow? Share your thoughts, spread this story, and let's continue to watch how Taehyung transforms a crisis into a canvas for his own personal glory. Most artists would choose to remain silent or issue clarifications when their agency is in crisis. But Taehyung chose a different path. He didn't speak directly, no live broadcasts, no media statements, but his presence was felt more powerfully than anyone with 1,000 words. He let the public construct their own meaning from every small gesture he made. This creates a new dimension in how the public views public figures. That strength isn't just about speaking out, but also the ability to create narratives from silence. Taehyung has become a master of silent storytelling. He teaches us that the most profound messages sometimes don't need to be conveyed through words, but rather through the eyes, body, and work. In an old magazine interview, Taehyung was once asked how he deals with the pressures behind the scenes of the entertainment industry. His answer was simple yet profound: "I don't try to fight the storm. I learn to dance in the midst of it." Who would have thought that sentence now feels like a prophecy coming true? Amidst rumors and internal leaks about friction within HYBE, Taehyung's name never appears as part of the problem. Instead, he becomes a calm point amidst the turbulence. Like the silent yet controlling eye of the storm, he becomes the center of gravity that returns the public's focus to what is essential: art, quality, and respect. And when his latest editorial photos with luxury brands once again dominated social media, many called it a form of silent rebellion. Taehyung doesn't need to be overt to show his limits. He uses aesthetics as a weapon. He emphasized his position as an artist, not an industrial tool. This influence spread faster than algorithms could measure. The brands he collaborated with remained loyal. The media continued to focus on him with an almost obsessive curiosity. And the fans? They grew even more loyal, more protective, and more convinced that the figure they supported was not just a celebrity, but a symbol of integrity. Some observers have suggested that HYBE's situation mirrors that of many large entertainment companies that have for too long suppressed creativity for corporate gain. And amidst this tension, Taehyung stands as a reflection of the importance of maintaining personal identity amidst a system that encourages homogenization.
Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think